if I sit back, is that better? Is that reflection in my glasses doing your editing?
To be fair, it doesn't really fucking matter. Yeah, because we're all at different distances.
It's off my head.
No, don't worry about that. Just cam it up next time.
I got me fucking lid just in case.
That's it. Stick it on.
It doesn't fit anymore.
Do you know what? Mine don't fit. The band's too tight. Like, do you know when you take it off, it's just a big fucking, and your head hurts like from all the pressure of the fucking berry on.
Well, I'll tell you a story about my beret in a bit if you want. Ask me about the beret before I left the forces. The size of it, it's like a fucking Rastafarian cat. I had so much fucking hair underneath it. It was unreal.
Sweet.
Should we get on with it then?
Yeah. So. Fucking big fucking penis head over there. Right. Welcome back to the fucking shittest podcast in the world. Bottom third, representing. Got Alex, Ricky, myself, Danny, and our guest today is Rich. Slightly different podcast today. Ricky's going to be point man on it. So he'll go into a little bit more detail about it. I'm just here to do a little admin point. There's no dits today because I'm trying to build up like enough of them because it seems like it's like 3 minutes long, like some of the dits. And then the other ones are like 20 seconds long. So it doesn't seem like there's enough of them. So I'm going to build them all up. And basically we'll have like a better like podcast ending dit session. So one more thing. Fucking obviously Rich has told the story like a million times on many different podcasts. We're hoping the way he spins it this time is some of the things that the serious podcast probably won't appreciate. So some of like the shit dits, the NDs of his career and stuff like that. So it will be a bit more what's the word I'm looking for? Like humiliating. Yeah. A bit more humility to the story. Pass it over to Alex, see if he's got any admin points. By the way, it's like 5 million degrees in my room, so if I just disappear, my PC crashed from the heat.
Huh.
There you go.
I'm in my cave, mate. It's insulated, so it's nice and cool.
Right. That admin point done there. Ricky, take over.
Right. So basically, this podcast will be like slightly different to the usual. We're more going to let Rich roll with his story. However, any daft stories on the way, he'll tell, which he probably wouldn't have told on the more serious podcasts. But we're the bottom third, he'll spin more bottom third stuff into the story. Apart from that, Rich, we'll let you introduce yourself.
Well, guys, thanks for getting me on the podcast. I've got a bit of a throat thing, so if I start coughing my guts up, it's not spunk, it's just me fucking having a bad time at the minute, so don't worry about that. Start doesn't mean to go on. I joined the tank regiment in 1988, and I reckon probably, I don't know how many of you guys joined that because you actually wanted to, but I joined it to go with my stepmom because I fucking hated her, and that was why I kind of went in there, because my dad had remarried, and I was a right little fucker when I was coming out of school. No qualifications. Maybe, I don't know, maybe the same as you guys or similar, who knows. But I was going nowhere fast and I was bunking off of work and being a right little shit. And then my stepmom said, your dad's found out. And my dad was, when he was alive, he was in the police force. And he kind of found out that I was bunking off of work. And my stepmom said, your dad knows you're not me going in. And I thought, oh, shit. So I thought to myself, I'll just fucking wing it. I'll pretend I'm going to join the army and pretend. And just fuck it all up all the way through. And the weird thing is, I couldn't fuck it up. I kept passing the test. This is back in 88, in the back end of 87 this was. And did Sutton Coldfield, got through that, got issued my number. And then I'll just fuck it up a basic then. I'll just get that wrong and just bin it halfway through because I didn't really want to go in. And I was at this leaving do in this club, and it's when house music was just coming out. It's 1988. House music had just come onto the scene, so I was like, "This is all right, isn't it? This is quite good." And I was just suddenly leaving this party that's just starting, if that makes sense. And this girl said to me, she said, "Oh, you're off the basic when Monday?" "Yeah, I'm going up on Sunday night." This was Saturday. She said, "You'll never do it." I thought, "I'll fucking show you I will." And that was it then. Because of what she said, I said, "I can't fucking bin it now because I don't want to prove her right." So I went to basic in Catterick in 88, 8809 it was. 30 of us started, 29 of us ended up leaving or passing out. And it was good. It was really good. It was in July, I started in May 88. And then we sort of progressed through past out in July. It was boiling on every fucking day up on the area, up by the doing a BFT down by the cattle grid and everything else. And the pass out day, I think it was on the 3rd of July, on the Friday. Do you guys know Catterick? I guess you must know of it. You know of it, don't you?
Born and raised.
Obviously, we were doing our pass out parade, and it fucking rained so hard, it was raining up. And we get that mist on the floor.
Yeah.
And that was our heavy rain was. Every day in basic, beautiful sunshine, red hot, real ball late, but come to pass out, it was pissing down with rain. But it got through it. And then I think that the bit that made it happen the most was, you know, when they say to you, when you do your eyes right it was the cattle shed, wasn't it, on the right hand side of the parade square. So when you do your eyes right to the CO, don't look at your family because it will get you. And I sort of did an eyes right, snapped my head across. I saw my dad, and I looked at him, and he looked at me. I could even see a little tear in his eye. I thought, oh fuck! And I knew then that he was proud of me. And I thought, I best make an effort, hadn't I, this one now? Because the first time I actually saw my dad being proud of me, I thought the road I was going down, he was not going to be proud. So I passed out, and I saw him, and I'd grown like about an inch in height, or it's maybe a bit more than that because of standing up straight and your posture. And that was it. Then I was off to my unit another 2 months later on, off to the 3rd Tanks over in Germany. We're based in a little place called Hamer, which was near a place called Iserlohn, which is near Dortmund, and trying to get the big. In fact, it's not even Hamer, it's a place called Dininghof, and it's fucking tiny. I think it's like a fucking trading estate now. But that was the start of it over there in Germany, and it was like madness. You know, Cold War soldier, wouldn't it? It was like 50-odd thousand of us over there at the time, and it was mostly on the piss. That always on the piss, I think. We had a stint to Northern Ireland in 1990. We had one guy. We had a couple of incidents. The one on the way out was in the helicopter in the Chinook, flying from the airport. I think we flew into Belfast. I don't know where we flew into. On our way to Armagh, and the Chinook starts circling. I thought, what the fuck's going on here? We haven't even fucking deployed, or we have deployed, but we're not at our base in Middletown yet. And the Chinook's circling around. And the note came back, started passing some charged magazines down. I'm like the last sort of 12. So the last 12 of you are getting off. We've had an IED go off below us, and you've got to get down and secure the area. We've fucking been in the island 1 hour, and we're going on it. So luckily, the local unit got in and secured the area, got to our base. We had one bomb called a Tassa Road bomb, but the biggest thing that set us off was one guy up in the top Sanger. We had Sangers based around the whole unit, or an whole camp, sorry. And we got the top Sanger, the one in the middle. We got your Jimpy up there, and people just standing across the top of Middletown, looking out to the fields to the bandit country. And we're all sat there having our 2-cam rule. We had a couple of tenants, and we suddenly hear 3 rounds go off. What the fuck? So we all stand to put our fucking lids on, flat jackets on, get our kit, and we hear this voice from the top saying, "Oh, that was me. That was me. Sorry, lads." And someone's fucking had an ND over the top of Middletown. We think he was cracking one off at the time because he's fucking. What else do you do on Stag and the Sang? You just bash one out, don't you? So, yeah. So we squeezed off 3 rounds of 7.62 over Middletown. Didn't kill anyone, but yeah. So that was our only call of duty, if you like. And then we got back, and do you know what the thing that fucked us up the most when we were over in we went from Middletown into Armagh City to do a bit of 50-50. We did a bit of bandit country in the rural area, and then we did a bit of urban work in Armagh. And that was in 1990, the back end of 1990. And the first Gulf War kicked off at that time. So we remember sitting on our base, watching on this little fucking stupid TV, all the Scud missiles going off, and thinking, shit, this is fucking nuts. And we were told, right, when you guys get back from Ireland, with a little bit of R&R, you're going out. Your tanks, your wagons are out there waiting for you. We painted them yellow or sandy colour. We sent them off, and they're waiting for you. I thought, fuck, we were going straight to the Gulf. We were fucking over the moon. We couldn't believe it. So not only we done 6 months on foot slogging it around, we're now going to go and get to take out some fucking Iraqis in our tanks. This is amazing. So we got back to Germany, quick dip back to the UK to have a bit of leave, at 2 weeks, I think. Back to Germany again to be deployed back to Lulworth and Bovington to get refreshed on the tanks, just to get ourselves up to speed. It's been a year since I pulled the trigger on the Challenger. And we finished all our sort of like to get ourselves competent on the wagon. Sat in the airport waiting to go, and the boss had got a message through somehow. So, guys, bad news, we're not needed. It's all over. The air assault was so successful that the ground assault was that quick. It's just mopping up job. So that was it. We didn't get to go. We were fucking wounded because I thought we just spent 6 months being a grunt, fucking tanky, a grunt, walking around the fields, and I can't get to go and squeeze a few rounds off of my chally. We were wounded. So that sort of fucked everything up for us, I think, because we, at that point then, the first options for change came in. So with the wall coming down in '89, the Berlin Wall, once that came down, everything started changing. We weren't needed anymore. Warsaw Pact started to disband. NATO started to sort of like, well, we didn't really move back, did we? We just stayed where we were. But everything started changing. And the units started shutting down. And we thought, we got no fucking chance. We're not going to get a chance to go to war again. Had I known what was going to happen about 6 years later on, would have been nuts, wouldn't it? So in '95, I got out. I fucking knocked it on the head. I signed off in '94. We did a tour of UN in Cyprus, which was fucking nuts. We were over there in '93, '94 when the Green Jackets murdered that. Was she Danish?
Where was this?
Danish.
Was that Cyprus?
Cyprus, yeah. So it basically
Cyprus, yeah.
So a Danish girl. I think it was Danish. Anyways, yeah, I want to say Danish. And she was going out with a Cypriot guy. And apparently one of the squaddies had been going out with her for a bit, and then obviously got with this guy, and he was pissed off, and yeah, ended up killing her anyways, murdered her. 3 of them murdered her and raped her.
Yeah, it's fucking horrendous, mate.
I think I've heard the gen on it. I think it was 3 Fijians.
No, it wasn't. No, they weren't.
Is that a different one?
They were all British. Yeah, they weren't Fijians. I've got pictures of them.
Did you hear how they got caught though? They used shovels.
They used a shovel.
Yeah, they used shovels from the fucking stores and then signed it back in.
Yeah, and then buried her in a lower grave on the beach.
Yeah, on the beach. Yeah. So
they didn't really think that through, did they?
For squaddies, that is a very like digging trenches for like 3 days on end. You think they fucking
get sussed,
play the game a bit? Do you know? But yeah,
especially if they're infantry, fucking hell.
So I think that's why the rifles are actually banned from Cyprus still, because I think it was rifles. Yeah.
Yeah, they went to 3 rifles, didn't they?
Yeah, it was the Green Jackets originally. What was the Green Jackets? And what they did is they knocked off. They seen him she was on the back of the moped or whatever it was, scooter, and they were in a car and knocked him off. Then they'd seen it turning around, thinking they were coming back to help them, and then got out and then obviously started chasing this guy. He ran off and hid. So he survived. He hid and watched his lass basically get beaten with a shovel and raped.
It's fucking nuts, isn't
really.
it?
Yeah. Anyway, we'll digress.
Yeah. So we were over there at the time when it happened, and because we were UN, when this murder had happened, they gated all British forces. No British forces were allowed out on the piss. There was also a massive vendetta against anyone who could have been seen as British forces. That's why they sort of gated us as well for our own safety. And we remember being there. There's a few reasonably interesting stories about over there. We were having some mad times with the local Cypriots in Limassol, because Napa was shit in the winter, but Limassol was a bit more lively. It had a bit more going on about it, and we were down on the strip in there. And I used to have loads of fucking long hair. I grew it long. I don't know how I got away with it. I just literally, it was literally down to there.
When?
And it was dark. Yeah, I know. I can't. There's no sign of it anymore. It's totally gone. If I grew it now, I look like Krusty the Clown. So I was pretending to be Cypriot. So you know what Scotty's like? We wing it, don't we? Just sort of blag what we can. And I was on my R&R. I think I had about 6 days R&R. And I was absolutely fucking broke on my ass. I had no money left. How the fuck am I going to get 6 days on the piss? I can't afford it. So I said to the barmaid, it was Scottish, she called Susanna, quite pretty with a big bum. That's what I remember about her. And she said, "What's your story then, Rich?" I said, "Oh, yeah." And I just winged it. I said, "Yeah, I'm half Cypriot." And she said, "Oh, really? What's the story?" So I kind of plausible, knowing about the history of the attack of the Turks in the mid-70s. I said, yeah, my dad used to be in the forces based over in one of the sovereign bases. He met a local Cypriot woman who lived in Famagusta, because I knew Famagusta was shut off. I said, yeah, so when the Turks came and invaded, said my mum said to my dad, look, take him to the safety of England. And I said, I never saw her again. I said, oh my God, you never saw mum? I said, no, never met my mum. I was getting free drinks to give me somewhere to live. They sorted me right out. So I was actually not moonlight, but I was doing outside the bar and they give the free tickets to people going past the holiday makers. I was like, hey, come in, get an extra shot for girls sort of thing. I was getting loaded up on vodka. And I said to them, I started feeling guilty. And I was staying with a guy and his family. He was called Paris or Pariscova, and his parents were really nice. And they said, you could stay with us. Don't stay in the flat with the squad. Just come and stay with us. I was eating all the food and that. And I felt really bad. And I said, so you guys used to live in the northern half, didn't you? They said, yeah, we lived over the other side. So, okay. I said, oh, do you want me to go and try and find your house or your village? Because they'd never been there. They'd never been back since the mid-70s. They just fled. They said, oh, can you? So they gave me an address. They wrote it down in the best of English. And somebody that made me in charge of a patrol. So I was a lance jacket at the time. When we used to go out in the Pajeros, it was Shoguns, but they're called Pajeros over there, aren't they? Roof down. Fucking, so they said to the guy, look, we're on a bit of a fucking mission today. So what we're doing, we're going to the northern half. We're going to go and find an address. Yeah, fuck it, why not? So we drove into the Turkish half. The map we had was in English. All the signs were in fucking Turk or Greek. We can't fucking read it. So we bought another map. Started looking at it, translating it, right, okay. It's basically over there. So we found this village because it's pretty much deserted, isn't it? The most of the northern half of Cyprus is just like it's derelict, isn't it? There's nothing going on there. Apart from Kyrenia, which you got a resort, the middle bit's fucked. So we sort of like navigated around, found this village, looked at this sort of drawing they gave us, like literally in pencil, followed this diagram of what they thought was it, and had my old 35mm camera, started photographing everything, photographing houses, fucking churches, schools, you know, I just photographed the fucking lot. Got back to base, went back on R&R about 9 days later on, went back to right, give him the film. So there you go. Good luck with that. Still on R&R. They came and see me 3 days later on. His mum ran over, gave me a massive fuck. She said, oh, you found our house. You found everything. So I located where the house was, and it was still the same as they'd left it in 1975, 76. So 18, 19 years later on, it was identical, apart from being very overgrown. And I sort of felt better after that. I thought I might have winged it a little bit, but... And then what I found out was all their fucking friends, oh, can you go over to this address and find us this one? So I was on these fucking missions now, fuck the UN. I was off over in northern half of Cyprus, locating villages and towns and churches and fucking yards and stuff. So that was my sort of, I guess, my payback for being full of shit when I was over in Cyprus. But it's quite good. It was enjoyable. I did like it. But I got around Cyprus and I thought, it was raining in Germany. I don't like this. I'm going to fucking knock it on the head. So literally that, I said to the lads on the tank park, I said, I'm binning it. Because I had been on leave, met some bird as well. You know, it's like fell in love on day one. I thought, that's it, this is the one. So I got back to we were sat in the troop cage, just had parade. I wasn't feeling it. I said to him, mate, so I'm signing off because you're not doing it. I said, I'm going. And I fucking marched to RSQ. That was it. Marched in. What do you want? Sign off. Are you sure? Yes. Yep. Signing off. And that was it. I fucking signed on the paper. I didn't even think twice about it. And that was it. A year later on, I'm fucking getting out. So
do you know what? The amount of lads that get out because they fall in love with some bird, it's actually ridiculous. Do you know, we had, right, so this is what I was like when I was in. So, like, first 3 years in the Lancs, I had a girlfriend. It was hard to believe. I used to have a bird, and I fucking loved her to pieces, and I hated being away with the army, and I just wanted to get out, but I couldn't because I was contractually fucking tired for the 4 years. And I was on guard on Christmas, and I was speaking to this Lance Jack. And I was just like, listen, mate, you don't get it. I love her. Do you know what I mean? 2 years later, we're in Afghan. Roles reversed. I don't have a bird. He does. We're there over Christmas in Afghan. And he's going to me, mate, I just want to go home. I just want to see her. I was like, mate, do you not remember when I was saying this? So it's a very difficult thing for lads to comprehend. If you want to do it, but just fucking understand that women are difficult to deal with when you're not in the army. It's easier because you're away. So you do have chance to like fall back in love and stay in love with her. If you're with her all the time, mate, you get sick of it, and you do eventually end up breaking up more often than not.
Can I digress back to the Sanger story? I just didn't want to interrupt you when you're on a roll. But the one thing I hate about Sangers, just no matter where you are in the world, is you know that people are just wanking in a minute. When you go in, you just feel dirty. Like, you don't even touch anything.
No,
you just feel dirty. And in Northern Ireland, the Sanger we had in Northern Ireland was even worse because it was enclosed like a proper room, not like a desert Sanger. And it was all glass, and there was a trapdoor. I think I've told this story before. These have heard it. There was a trapdoor, but I don't know what the trapdoor used to have, but it was sealed up to a degree, but you could still open it. And when I went on my first Sanger duty at 18, they went, do not open the trapdoor. Like, that flicking keep her away from that trapdoor. And what's the first thing you do when you say don't do something? I opened the trapdoor. and it nearly knocked me out. The smell, obviously, it's loads of people who's shot their loads into this basement and this little cellar thing. And suddenly, this overpowering like bleach smell just went. I was like, nearly fell off my chair thinking about it. And it was awful, and then, like that's what put me off Sangers for life. So now I just know Sangers is just a dirty place, man. It's just a grot, like Sanders grotto.
I think when you said the trapdoor in this very Sanger, the way to get into it, you had to go up a ladder and go through a trapdoor, like going into an attic or a loft. And guys used to deliberately crack one off onto the handle of the fucking trapdoor. So when you go in and you get up, and they know that they can lift it a different way. If you don't know, you just someone just sort of splashed all over it. So yeah, there's
so what you're saying there. Yeah, so what you're saying there, I think years ago it must have been a trapdoor, but they built steps outside now. So this trapdoor must have been cemented it up. There was a gap, like maybe a 4-inch gap, and so that gap was just goo, dried goo.
Anyway,
proper jellyfish fucking.
Right.
Yeah, so I signed off in. It was a summer of.
Rich, can I just say that is the most impressive introduction anybody has ever done on this podcast.
To be fair, for an icebreaker, that is brilliant. All guests now, like we've set the standard.
Yeah.
This is it, but we still don't know when you lost your virginity, so I'm still waiting on that.
Ah, right. Yes, let's. Do you want me to go into that? That's what I'm serving. This is a belter, absolute belt. I was a late bloomer. Okay, so it wasn't for the want of trying. Now, over in Germany, they had a special date called Rosenmontag. I think it means Rose Monday. It's a tradition where the German women can pretty much do what they like to you, which isn't a bad thing. They should do it everywhere, I think. And the lads took me out on this night. And I've been in about a year already, and I was 19, mind. Just take note of that number for losing your cherry. And we went out on this night. I had a shirt on, like a denim shirt, I think. And there was this girl that worked in a local bar called BBI. It's called Bristol Bridge Inn, funny enough. In the middle of Germany, it's called the Bristol Bridge Inn. I don't know how the hell they worked that one out. She had massive fucking bangers. And that's all I could see over the top of the bar was these huge tits. And I thought, wow, that's just something else. So we're out on this night, and I'm just getting absolutely fucking leathered. And this girl walks in, and I'm like, and she walks up to me, and the tradition is, in this Rosenmontag, is the men are supposed to wear a tie, is the women will carry scissors. And if they cut your tie off and put it in the pocket, you're fucking theirs. There is no ifs or buts. You're going in with them that night. She came up to me with the scissors. I thought, she's getting like really excited, and she cuts the buttons off my shirt. I was like, oh, hang on a minute, just take one or two. That's fine. Put them in her pocket. She said, you're mine to that. I thought, oh my fucking God, this is it. And then she literally fucking dragged me out of that place after about an hour. I didn't know what the fuck was going on. Took me back to her flat. She just annihilated me. I did not know what the fuck was going on. All I know is I woke up. She was in this. I must have been traumatized because I can remember it quite clearly. So she was at a loft room. Her bedroom was in a loft, and the slope of the apex of the ceiling was coming down. Head was at the narrow end. I remember waking up, cracking me fucking head on the ceiling, looking around, thinking, "Fucking hell, I got to get back to camp." Because I thought, I don't even know where I am, somewhere in Hamer. Got a taxi back to camp, rolled in at 8 o'clock in the morning, fucking swagger like this. I said, "Oh, Joni, you dirty bastard," walked straight past the guard. And that day went through, I was just grinning like a Cheshire cat. And I was sat in my room back in the block. And the guard came, knocked on the door, said, "Jonah, you got some fucking German bird there. We're asking for you at the gate." I went, "Oh, fucking hell, is her in there?" So I had to go back out and see her again. And she had another German couple around. It's all really awkward. And I thought, nah, this isn't for me. I thought, I don't really fancy this. She gave me thrush as well, the dirty bitch. Oh. So, yeah, I blame that on dirty overalls and exercise, though. So there we go. Oh. So that's what popped my cherry on Rosenmontag at the age of 1989. I think it's February, I think. So yeah, there you go. Got absolutely hammered. She smashed lumps at me.
I'm going to have to make a compilation of all these fucking virginity stories. Just fucking 10-minute long YouTube video of all our guests. This is how I lost mine.
I think that's the most in-depth one we've had.
Yeah, definitely. Best guest.
So I don't know whether we should go straight into how you ended up. I know roughly how you started, where you started popping pills, and before you knew it, you were distributing cocaine. But let's get into how you started getting into the drug scene.
Right. So when I came out in '95, I don't know who hasn't done a close protection course in the forces, but I was one of them. Yeah,
Yeah.
I haven't.
Surprise, surprise! Such a rare thing, isn't it? You haven't.
I
good
have.
skills.
I have, but what I'm going to say is, segue, do not do it with Phoenix. They took all my money and they didn't give me the qual. I'm just going to fucking put that out.
No way,
Yeah.
bastards. I did mine with a company called Task International in 1995 in Maidstone, ex-SPS. It was good. It was a good course. Enjoyed it. And you're already really confident, aren't you? As a young soldier coming out of the forces, you're mega confident. Borderline arrogant, I think, sometimes. Did the CP course. The film The Bodyguard had been on about the same sort of time. So it was all fucking hype about that sort of thing. And my dad had left the police force at this stage and he was involved in surveillance. So I thought, well, I can come out, I could do a bit of surveillance, do a bit of CP work. So it's kind of like, I've been coming on leave, obviously, for some time. And during this, remember I said at the beginning about this house music thing started just as I left. 1988 was beginning to kick off and it started to get a bit more lively. And coming on leave, I didn't really get exposed to any of that for quite a long time until sort of when I came out in 95. What I realised, all my mates that were, and I pretty much mean all of them, all my civvy mates, were getting involved in going clubbing and partying and taking some sort of drugs. So they introduced me to amphetamine, which is just speed. I say just. I'm quite flippant with these sort of things, so I do apologise. And I was trying that now and again. And what I found was it gave me even more confidence. So when I was doing door work and stuff like that, what I kind of, let's call it the transition, if you like, out of the forces, I had my personal life with my friends, partying and clubbing, and my professional life, which is working in CP and surveillance. Both of them didn't really mix very well, but what I found was in 95, there was no regulation at all in the security industry, which is absolutely fucking ruthless. It was run by villains and gangsters and a few ex-coppers and a few ex-military. But the firms I was working for, they were definitely not ex-coppers. So I was being given these different jobs and I was getting exposed to stuff which I thought, that's illegal. So I did a job at Nebworth in 96 looking after Oasis and all the different people behind stage. It's a massive gig and I was doing backstage security, looking after a few people, escorting people around here and there. They all smashed out their face on drugs and I was already taking ecstasy at this stage. And the people that were paying me to do the security job were also feeding the fucking Oasis and all the stars of the drugs. And I thought, this is all right, isn't it? It's like they're kind of like got this lifestyle, if you like. They're doing, they're getting paid to do security, but they're also earning money selling drugs. It wasn't about the money. It was just an interesting thing. I took a mental note of that. I thought, okay, that's interesting. I'm getting exposed to things I wasn't really ready for. But the thing that got me the most, I think, was doing the door was starting to piss me off because I found I wanted to be in the club, not on the outside of it. And I was seeing everyone going and having a good time and the music sort of on the inside. I thought, I'm wasting my nights there. I've got out of the army because I want to be coming home. I want to be spending time with friends, with my girlfriend for as long as it lasted, which was about a year and a half, I think. So I went into, I sort of frequent this one club. Yeah, it never it's different between love and lust, isn't it?
Yeah.
You soon find out that their shit does stink. That's the difference. So I went into this club, which I go into all the time. I was still slightly up on my bit of speed that I'd had. I always make sure taking ecstasy at this stage. And I wasn't really that fussed about it. I mean, mate said to me, do you want a pill? And yeah, fuck it, go on then, why not? I don't know why, I didn't even think twice about it. I said, yeah, fuck it. So he disappeared for a few minutes. I'm sat there thinking, what's it going to be like? And he came back and he gave me this little fucking tablet and I thought, all right, fuck it, let's just neck it. I said, what are they? He goes, they're dirty dollars. I went, that's not very fucking encouraging, is it? So I just necked it, fucking washed it down with a cold beer and just waited patiently. and then
like
next
a good
thing,
little boy.
a good little just waiting. And they're all already on this different level. I'm not there. I'm in this different wavelength completely. Hypervigilance is still fucking all over the shop, and I'm thinking this is fucking nuts. And all of a sudden, my perception changed. The music got louder. I could hear voices, not as in I'm hearing voices, as in I could hear the volume of people's voices increase with the music. Everything became uber alert. I thought, what the fuck's this all about? And suddenly I felt really good. But one thing I noticed straight away, that hypervigilance fucking gone immediately. I did not give a fuck. It was no longer, I'm not condoning it as a treatment for hypervigilance, but it worked really well for me. So then I suddenly found that after, I think it'd been about 3 months I've been out, I left Germany in somewhat like beginning of June 95. I was still on the payroll for the army until the end of August. I had my idea at this stage. So they were talking sort of like the sort of back end of the summer. I hadn't taken anything or any pills, but I took this pill, and all of a sudden I was on the same wavelength as all these other people. I was there with them. And this is where the sense of belonging that we miss when we leave the forces, you know, that camaraderie, that thing, sense of monging. So suddenly I was like part of something again. And that was the weird thing about it, is that pill, not only did it remove the hypervigilance, it made me feel like I belonged to something as well. So that thing that I missed in the army, which I didn't know I'd missed, I now found something else, which was the culture of taking that pill. And what that moment meant to me, that 3 or 4 hours whilst you're off your fucking nut, you actually felt like you were a part of something with the
Can I just state, we are not encouraging people to take drugs. Like, we're not encouraging people to take drugs.
No.
Okay.
Everything we've covered so far.
This is just Rich's experience.
Everything we've covered so far, we do not encourage fucking 3 of you fucking raping and killing a Cypriot, fucking all this other shit. Do not do it. Don't do it.
Nor masturbating onto fucking hatch sanger handles, wanking in sangers. No,
Sangers I can condone.
Sangers we can go for, yeah. So I started getting involved in just taking these pills is my own form of just being a part of something, and I wasn't involved in selling for a little while. And the lad that was sort of sorting us out was a close friend of ours. And I wasn't the only veteran within this group. There was another one of us. He came out around about the same sort of time. He's on the same CP course as me. That's as much details as I'll give about him. And he knows who he is. He knows who he is. He would be coming up from... It wasn't you. He's coming up from London, and he was having a weekend with us in Bristol. So things started to change then, and there's so much sketchy memories about that particular time, but things which made a difference was where I lived. I'll go back to the getting involved in a deal in a sec. I was offered a house with Hague Homes, which if anyone's looking for someone to live as in the forces, Hague Homes have got good, cheap accommodation for veterans. It's really good. They had a brand new flat, or it's 3 flats converted from a Victorian house and a little top floor. So we've got a house here for it.
Are they part of the RBL then? Are they run by the RBL?
No, they're an independent charity, and they've got close links with their RBL. But they've got houses dotted all around the UK. They're a bit of a shit show now, but they used to be really good. I don't think they're quite the same anymore.
I was going to say, it was the Poppy Scotland factory. That's called Lady Hague factory or something like that. Anyway, sorry.
It might be linked. It could be linked. I think the one there was a Douglas Haig, I think, from back in the war. And anyway, so they said, we got a flat here for you, because I was on the waiting list. They said, you can move in when you're ready. And I moved into this flat, and it was lovely. And then, so what I did is my mate from London, who was coming up on the weekends, I said, here, mate, there's a flat downstairs if you want to move in. I said, I'm the only one here. There's 2 houses converted to 6 flats. I said, get your fucking ass up here. We're having a great weekend. Just come and live in Bristol. So he did. He literally downed tools there, came back to live in Bristol. He moved in below me. And then some weeks later on, that's probably for a few months later on, my other mate, who just got out of the forces, we came across him because he was robbing the local co-op, because he was some idiot made him in the manager, and we were a bit hungry, and he said, "Oh, come out, I'll open the back door, we'll load your van out." I said, "Perfect." So we went out there and we loaded the van out with a load of fucking meal deals, and this is about 96. I said, "Hey, mate, there's some flats down there. Get yourself down there." He moved in next door. So out of 6 flats, we had 3 of them. And that is where it was like being back in the block. Yeah. Without any rules, but with lots of drugs. It was fucking nuts. So anyway.
Quick one on the drugs. Was that your first experience taking drugs when you came out of the army, or did you used to do drugs in the army?
So I was dabbling. So we had a culture. There's always this culture, isn't there? Which is like everyone knows who they are, but no one speaks about them. Yeah. And this pre-CDT, the CDT came out in 92, 93, I think. So we were all sort of messing around a little bit of cannabis. So, but it wasn't heavy use. There was a little bit of smoke here and there, a bit of casual, but I wasn't that bothered about it. Nothing else. So that was me until I started coming back on my last sort of few months of leave. I was taking a bit of speed. So prior to that, I wasn't going to risk getting CDT'd and booted out, although I was. I thought, let's just take it steady. So no, not too bad. There were guys on there known for it, and they were introducing the CDT when I was there, although we didn't get hit. We didn't get done. So I think it was quite new at the time. So no, it was all quite a brand new experience. So the lad that was sorting us out, he lost his ass. Fair enough. He didn't want to do it anymore. And I thought, fuck it, I'll do it. I've done worse than that. I mean, most guys would say do anything just for the crack if it's dangerous, just because you don't give a fuck, do you? So I went and saw the lad. Went and saw my first dealer. He said, right, there you go. So how many do you want? I said, well, 5, please. Me and me 4 mates. So okay, that's £8 each. I thought, oh, that's 40 quid. I thought, oh, I see. I'll make some money on that then. That's perfect. I get mine for free. So all of a sudden, I sort of sing about business. And I thought, I get mine for nothing. So I got these 5 little pills. I remember picking them up. Where am I going to hide them? Where's I stashed them? I was fucking looking around the van and thought, it's 5 fucking pills. But I was terrified. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? And I stashed them somewhere. Got to the lads, saw them, sorted them all out, got mine for free, paid the bill. But what I noticed was we were having a little community was building in this club because there's quite a few of us there, and it was kind of like a sign of the times as well. It was like an era of the rave music in the 90s. It used to be in fields and warehouses and everything else. It was all moving into the clubs, and it was moving into the club that we were in, but on a small scale. So we found that we were building this community, and I wanted to be a part of that. And I found because I had a couple of pills and we were always noticed to be clearly off of our tits, people would say to me, oh, you got any pills left? I thought, no, but I might have some next week. So I kind of like saw me guy said, hey, mate, can I get some on like tick? He goes, yeah, take as many as you like. I went, as many as I like. So I took like 20 or something like that. Following week, went down there, sort of mates out. They were gone within about an hour. I thought, fucking hell, that was quick. I made myself like, it wasn't much, about 30, 40 quid, but that covered some of my drinks, taxi. I thought, oh, this is all right, isn't it? And that's how it started. Just a few. And we built this community around us. So the lads that I'd served with, that were living in the flats, one of them wasn't part of it, but the one that was robbing the co-op, he was part of it. He was my partner, if you like. So we had this thing going on now, 2 of us. So it was kind of like quite well run military-wise because we knew how we thought. He'd hold the money, I'd hold the drugs. You know, and what we did is we managed to sort of like, I'll say we got this club kind of, we use it sewn up as the phrase you'd use, wouldn't you? Because we were creating an atmosphere which was good, there was no trouble. There was no fucking scrapping, no rowing. The doormen were fucking happy because there was no dramas. We were slowly taking over this club, all the people getting off their tits. And we ended up getting the bar staff on board, doorman, or some of the doormen on board, management, DJs, lighting jocks. So they're all paid in ecstasy, which is quite handy at the time. Just give them all a pill. They're all happy. We get the music we want. We get free drinks. We get in for free. The manager brings the drugs in for us. Sorted. It was brilliant. So we had,
fucking Christ, you got smugglers and everything.
Jesus.
we had it boxed off for about 3 years. It was
Imagine if
going
the
really
army
well.
was this organised. Fucking hell.
So it was going really well. And I found my mate, I keep almost giving his name away, but I can't.
I'll blur it if you do.
Let's call him Co-op. Right, my mate Co-op. He was really good at spending the money. Exceptional skill he had, and he met a girl at the time. She was lovely. She was the barmaid, so we knew that she was sorting us out with drinks. But he was telling her we were earning like 500 quid a week each. We weren't earning anywhere near that. It was like maybe 200 quid ish if we were lucky. But he told her we were earning loads of money, so he was having to sort of validate the money he said he was earning to her by flashing the cash. So he was spunking the fucking money, wouldn't he? So we come to payday on Tuesday, got to go and pay for the stuff that I've laid on in my name, where this time we're now buying maybe a couple of hundred. And I'm thinking, we're short, mate. Where's the fucking money? Oh, I don't know. You've been fucking spunking it. So we just swapped roles. Where I look after the money, he looked after the drugs. We found out he was good at eating the drugs as well, wasn't he? So he couldn't have anything. So we just split, went our separate ways. In about 98, we just divided. I met my then wife, now my ex-wife, in 98, or the back end of 98. And my first son was born in 1999. So kind of everything changed then. It was time to sort my shit out because I've been signing on it was called the Dole back then, signing on for fucking 18 months, nearly 2 years, claiming benefits while selling drugs, standard stuff, pulling up to the job centre in my fucking Cosworth like a right cunt, and then going and getting my gyro. What a twat. So it kind of had to change when my then wife sort of fell pregnant. I thought, I got to sort my shit out. So I got a job working for Initial Textiles. I just took any job. I didn't care what it was, just wanted a job just to get some sort of normality back in my life. So what I found then was because she was pregnant, I stopped going clubbing. I stopped going out. I had a job Monday to Friday. So what I found was my normality sort of reappeared in my life again, where I was just delivering tea towels. But I was smoking a bit of pot at the time, and that was kind of me like how can I put it, like a shop window. It's showing other people within that group, obviously not everyone because you get sacked, but other guys that are working there, if they see you smoking a joint, oh, do you have a smoke, dear? Yeah. Well, what are you into? And you suddenly start having a bit of a comms about what you're doing. See, I can sort some out for you, and you just start expanding your business. And what I found was having an Initial Textiles delivery van was perfect cover for delivering everything because I'd have crates full of tea towels and fucking uniforms and sheets in the back, and I'd walk into anywhere, into someone's house with a bag of tea towels full of ecstasy. There you go. I have some free tea towels with it as well. And that job, I was there for about 4 years. I fucking loved it. It was a brilliant cover until like 2002 when I got married. I decided to retire at 2002 because at that point then, let me go back a little bit. So anyway, without me, I missed something out. So without me, am I talking too much? Is it all right?
No,
I'm not on any drugs.
Crack on, mate.
I'll be honest. Yeah, I'll be honest. I'm like proper captivated.
Yeah. This is the easiest podcast ever.
Yeah.
He's here, isn't it? Piece of piss. I'm podcasting you. That's it. It was because I stopped clubbing. I didn't stop taking that, so I took it a whole lot less, and I wasn't going anywhere near as much as I was. So I found that I discovered Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday that they didn't exist for a good couple of years because I was so fucked coming down from the weekend. It would take me 2 or 3 days to fully recover. So I found these days, and I found myself getting more productive. And round about 2001, all the people that were involved in the club, the party goers, they've evolved into the bars. They're starting to sniff coke now. It's just a natural progression. It's not like going to suddenly go on and start smoking crack or taking heroin. It was a club and party scene. They'd had enough of dancing. They just danced their fucking socks off for 3 years. It's time for a change. I think some of them are still doing it now, which is mental. So all my customers were involved who were taking ecstasy, were now taking cocaine. And I had a big customer base now. So by this stage, I was probably on about 1,000 pills a week, I think, roughly. Not taking, selling.
I was going to say.
You're having one hell of a weekend.
Fucking sounds amazing. Just didn't stop. So I was selling a fair few, but the profit margins were shit because in 98, there was a big, it's called the Great Drought of Ecstasy in 97, 98. That had crashed. They came back in. There's a price war. The profits dropped. The quality dropped. In the end, what I would have paid £8 for in 95, I was now paying £2 or £3. And when I was buying in bulk, some couple of years later on, I'm buying 5,000 or 10,000 at a time. I'm paying 30 pence. So you could see something's got to give, and that was the quality. So I thought, what's the point in getting involved in selling something which is still a Class A drug, and you're still looking at some serious bird, and not making any money? If that doesn't make sense. So everyone I knew was involved in cocaine, so I thought, I was just fucking get involved in that instead then. Again, like taking that pill, fuck it, why not? So I kind of converted my customer base from drugs. Now, because I wasn't interested in selling little bits, I just couldn't be asked, because I was a family man now. I thought, and none of them knew about it. My son didn't, he's only one, but my ex didn't know anything about it. So I was always maintaining this cover of being at work, doing a bit of security on the side. That was always a plausible reason to be clandestine in any way, because it's got to go and do a surveillance job. I'll be back in about a day. Off down to do a drug deal or something. So I'll do some cash. Look, that was easy. So basically, I got involved in selling coke, but not in bits. So I just jumped straight in with a lad that was my ecstasy dealer, my friend. He still is my close friend because he's retired now. He's done a bit of bird, and He was involved in coke.
I'm assuming bird means jail time.
It does,
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
I've always
Done a
wanted to
bit of
know what a
swing, mate.
bird is. Like, how long is it? And why is it called a bird? It's a.
I think. Do you know what I think? It's because in the. I mean, I could be wrong, but I think in the old days you used to be able to have a budgie in prison as a luxury,
Oh,
and I
right.
think that's what we're doing. Bird. I could be wrong, but I'll use that as a. That's what I'm giving. I'm sticking with it.
I've heard of doing porridge as well. Doing porridge, but they used to say because you get porridge for your breakfast or whatever. But,
That's it. Yeah.
Bit of muesli.
That's yeah. And dried muesli with no milk, lovely. So I got involved in the cocaine game with this lad, and he was already selling a fair bit. He's doing about half a kilo a week, and I thought, I don't think I've got the customers for that. I could probably do like quarter kilo a week. I said, look, man, it's not a fuck around. Let's just buy it impure and repress it ourselves. So he said, oh, that's a good idea. So he went and did all the hard work and found all the stuff we needed, all the cutting agents, all the equipment, the molds, everything else. Found somebody else to do it. And next thing I know, I'm sat in a fucking makeshift lab, fucking surrounded by cocaine and fucking cutting agents and a press, and we're just fucking banging it out now. And that was it then. I was involved in coke from 2001. And it just, the whole game was fucking ruthless. It was horrible. It was like being operational tour duty all the time because you don't rest. There's no switching off because you're waiting for your door to go through by the police or by the people that you want to steal your money or kidnap you. It's always a possibility. So I got involved in that, and I think at the time it's getting quite difficult to, how can I put it, maintain the lie that I'm selling drugs. So the trouble with that is people always know where you've come from. They always know that you're rich in the club selling pills, so they're always going to assume you're still at it. So I've always had to try and have some sort of cover of a business of some sort. So I tried everything. I tried car valeting, car wash, funny enough. It's weird, isn't it? Money laundering, a snack van, all cash-related businesses. I've had private hire taxis. I've done all sorts of things, and I've just tried to maintain that sort of discretion. And I think the problems that I found, and this is where it might sound glamorous when I spoke about it at the beginning, but this is where it starts getting less glamorous, is when things go wrong. And there's always someone that's going to go tits up somewhere along the line, but like deal with the 6 or 7 P's in it. You just plan your best and hope that you can come out of it. And there was a massive arrest in 2006, and I got wanged into debt by 80 grand overnight. Just immediately in debt, and it's for the book Charlie for Kilo Rich, so you know the one. So I took on 3 kilos of coke on credit because that's where I was at that time. It was fluctuating up and down, but I was, give or take, so I took on 3 kilos worth about 60 to 80 grand. And it was 3, but in the book I said it was 4. I want to change a few things, but it's actually 3. And the night I took it on, the runner dropped off into this flat. I'll tell you the story about the morning. So I got up the next day, went out for a drive in the car with my mate who was involved in it slightly, or not involved. He was aware of it. And you get that feeling someone's gone fucking tits up. And I had that feeling. I was trying to enjoy this drive in my car. I thought, I'm not feeling this. And I tried to ring the lad who was living in the safe house, and his phone was off. I thought, it's not unusual. It's only 10 o'clock. It's going to be a bit of time. But let's ring his mate, another guy. This is Alfie and Jeff from the book. Alfie's the guy that was caught. Jeff was in the house. And I tried to ring both of them. Both their phones off. Thought, don't feel right. So I thought, let's just get on with me day, and I'll try them again after lunch. So we drove down to Cirencester. We're going to see the lad's brother. He was camping for some. I remember eating country slices. I saw him. I was eating fucking cakes. I said, fuck this, I got to go. I said, my head's falling off it. I need to fucking go and find out what's going on. He goes, what's the matter? I said, look, I don't know. Something's wrong. And he's in the car with me, and I drove him back, and I still couldn't get hold of these 2 lads. I thought by midday they should have their phones on by now. You get a little blip, but these are on burner phones. So I rang out another lad who used to run for me. I said, mate, do me a favour, drive down to Jeff's, park up nearby, just go for a fucking recce, walk past the house. Now, the guy Jeff lived in a Victorian basement flat, so you could walk past on the street and look down into the lounge.
Yeah.
And his door is kind of behind, in the book, it was behind a tree, but it's in a little recess underneath the path to go into the ground floor flat, if you like. I said, look, drive down there, park up local, do a fucking recce, just for fuck's sake, be careful. I said, I got a bad feeling. So a half hour later on the phone rings, he goes, "Yep, you're fucked." What is it? He said, I walked past the house, there's police cars all down the road. He said, I've managed to walk by the house, and I looked down into the lounge, and Jeff's there with a pair of cuffs on. Like, he goes, "Don't come in." And he's fucking walked off. So immediately I thought, I wonder if they found the coke. Obviously they found it. So I'm thinking, part of me then is thinking, where did he hide it? I hope they haven't found it. Maybe he's hidden it really, really well and they haven't found it. Because we don't know at this stage, but I have to go to the house and find out. So we gave it a few hours. I rang up Jeff's missus, I rang up Alfie's missus, and we rang up the two guys who were their runners. These are people that were recruited into my firm during the back end of Charlie for Kilo. So look, we got to go down that house. We got to see. So I said, look, I think I called a Millie in the book. Jeff's your boyfriend. You can go there. You're okay. You ain't gonna get nicked. So we walked down there and we got to the flat and we're looking. There's no police anywhere. I thought there's got to be somewhere. So I parked my car way out the road. We got to the flat. We're looking around. There's no sign of any police anywhere. I thought, let's do it. Let's go in. So we're going down there. I'm just fucking looking at the door. There's a big red indentation on the door where the
red key.
Yeah.
Big red key. Yeah. I think, well, they've definitely gone in there forcefully. And I was just about to knock on the door. She just fucking boots it through. She fucking put some weight behind that fucking thing. She took it off the fucking hinges. What the fuck? There goes discretion straight away. So in she goes, Jeff, where are you? Oh, fucking hell, shit. So I knew where he would have hidden it. It would have been in the freezing compartment of the fridge because he used to put his speed in there. He keeps it refrigerated in the salad tray at the bottom. Went in, opened the fridge, opened the drawer, empty. Right, I'm satisfied. I'm fucked. I'll see you lot later. I just left and I thought, oh fuck, I got an 80 grand debt now. So then I had to ring up the people I owed the money to, explain to them what's going on, and then it all gets really messy because everyone's going into sort of like they're trying to balance the thing between greed and self-preservation. Now I'm thinking greed don't come into it because I'm already technically fucked. I got to know whether I'm going to get arrested or am I going to be in debt. Which one's the best option right now? I think getting nicked would be quite good because I don't have to worry about the debt. I then ring them up. The guys said, look, guys, you've had a problem. I need to meet up. Met at big Tesco's. And I said to the guys, look, there's been a nicking. I've lost the fucking lot. It's all gone. I said, you sure? So I've been in there. I've had eyes on it. I said, it's not there. It's gone. The police have taken it. So we're watching the news now if anything comes up. All right, let us know. So watching the news, about 2 days later on, they said there was an arrest and found was 3 kilos of cocaine, 500 ecstasy tablets and half a kilo of cannabis and some speed. I thought, that's definitely my lot. Not mine. Mine was the pills and the coke. I thought, fucking hell, at least that's confirmation that I haven't robbed it from them. I said, look, there you go. Matt, have a look at that. There you go. There's your fucking proof. So then I got to start paying this debt off. And that's the glamour side gone, isn't it? Immediately, because that's when I realised that I've made a mistake getting involved in drugs. I think, fuck, I got to pay this thing off. And it wasn't a very nice experience. It was really difficult because I had no support from anyone. I couldn't tell my wife. She didn't know what was going on. Couldn't tell any of my civvy mates because I didn't know what was going on.
We're sitting there, owing gangsters basically 80 grand. That must be the most shit. Like, I'd be shitting bricks, like, literally. I couldn't be there.
What did they say about it?
They said basically you got to pay it back as quick as you can. I said, clearly, I want to pay this back as quick as I can. The thing is, I'm the sort of person that if I've got a debt and I believe I owe that money, I will pay it. Yeah. Whatever it takes. Whatever it takes. Less of killing someone, I will pay that debt. I said, right, okay, start paying it off. So I was just running around for other people. I was back on the tools. When it went wrong, I'd gone through the business from sort of, let's say 97 until that point, which was 2006. So what's that? Sort of 9 years. I'd had runners on and off. I had people working for me. It was up and down. It was never it never plateaued. It was always up and down at different levels of business with different organisations, different people. And I was back on the ground there, boots on the deck, just doing my thing, just running around for other people, earning a few hundred quid there, a few hundred quid there. It was fucking killing me. I ended up at the point, I think it was in the end of October, early November 2006, where I had a psychological breakdown. I said, that's it, I just want to fucking die. And I remember this one route I used to take out to Trowbridge, where I used to do a lot of work in Trowbridge, which is south of Bristol and Bath area. I would be in my car and it was a Pajero, it was a fucking Mitsubishi Shogun, 3.5 fucking litre, which I used to drive the snack van with. bit juicy on fuel. So I would drive literally to Trowbridge to collect money. It would cost 30 quid in fuel to collect £100.
Oh.
And that's the lengths I was having to go to in order to try and pay this bill. I'd wake up in the morning and I'd think, right, I've got to raise, because I was taking stuff off them still to try and sell quickly. But because most of my business had scattered because of the arrest, I had very few customers left. It was really hard trying to make it work. So I was spinning little tiny wheels. It was literally spinning things quickly to make a couple of quid. And I remember driving this one route. It's quite rural. It's really nice, and there's loads of really like steep hills, and there's this old stone wall on the right. And I thought, if I drive through that hard enough and keep my fucking foot down and go right down hill, there's a big fucking tree, and I reckon I could kill myself if I hit that tree hard enough. And I genuinely wanted to do it. I genuinely thought to myself, coming back from this one run, I thought, if I don't get a decent amount of money, I'm going to go through that fucking wall. And every time I get to it, I think, Missy kids, no, I can't do it. So I fucking keep going. In the end, I had a breakdown. I ended up going to the doctor, fucking flooding with tears. It just got too much. I just wanted to die. So he said, look, let's get you into the hospital. Let's get you checked out. So they diagnosed me with moderate to severe depression. I think everyone's got it these days, aren't they? It's just fucking, who hasn't got depression? So they put me on the fucking, and I remember getting kept in overnight, led on the gurney, looking up at the ceiling thinking, where the fuck has my life ended up? And I think I still got like, I think at the time, still 40 odd grand debt to pay. I paid back 40 off. But that's because I'd sold cars, I sold everything I owned, trying to explain that to the missus. Like, I just sell everything off, get rid of it. Where's the money gone for that? Oh, fuck. It was really hard. So all that took its toll. I remember led on this gurney looking at the roof thinking, in the morning, I got to go out, I only get discharged, and I've got to face the reality of me switching my phone off when I'm supposed to be collecting up money. And then that was the mass anxiety, switching the phone back on again and the messages coming through. Where the fuck are you? Getting more and more aggressive as they go through, because they come through in order. So you see the last one first, think, oh, he's really, I'll go back to the beginning first and just build myself up to the one who wants to kill me. So I can let's see if he was nice. Let's see if he was nice at one point, then I can work on that one. So they never were. Where the fuck are you? Where's my fucking money? So I switched the phone on. I sat in the car, switched it on. Few beeps coming, nothing. I sat there, I sat in the passenger side. I don't know why I was in the passenger side. I had a knife in the glove compartment. It wasn't a big, it was like a little sort of lock knife. Pulled it out, stuck it on my wrist. And I thought, can I do it? And I fucking pushed it, and I was there, fucking right in there. And I thought, it's for my sons. I thought, at this point, I had another son, he was 1. I thought, can't do it. I can't fucking do it. I took the knife away, chucked it on the fucking deck, rang the guy with the money, just said, right, okay, let's fucking get this sorted out. And then I just cracked on and kept paying it. And it's at that point then he said to me, you can pay it off quicker if you bring it over. And I said, yeah, fuck it, whatever it takes, mate. And bringing it over is going over to Europe to smuggle it across. So I thought, fuck it, all right, okay, let's do that then. So that was the next step. And that was in the beginning of.
And what was that you were smuggling? Cash?
Cocaine. Well, it's both. It was taking cash over and bringing cocaine back. But the way that it worked out, it worked out quite well in the end, because I didn't have to carry anything at all. Story time. So,
I mean, fucking Christ, I've still got to spin a muesli dip, me. We're fucking 20 minutes past that.
This is going to be all night long.
It gives me anxiety. Just listen to your stories, giving me anxiety. So I can't even imagine what you were feeling at the time.
Horrible, mate. Horrible. So by this time, I've been prescribed my happy pills, 20 mils of fluoxetine. So I was popping those things every morning. I felt so much better. I could get up in the morning. I felt a little bit more lively. I was sleeping at night. I was drinking a little bit less on the evenings. I was thinking, oh, I can function again now. And then this was in sort of like November of 2006, sorry. The first run overseas was in the beginning of 2007, February. And I was just waiting for this phone call. He said, yeah, go on, you're on your way. And that was it. I just sort of tasked myself with this sort of like game plan of going skiing in Andorra for 3 days. So I took my DOS bag with me in the boot, threw it in the back, take it everywhere just in case. Get out of jail free card in it if you get pulled by the filth. Are you in the forces? Yeah, mate, yeah, you know what it's like. Yeah, so I always took my DOS bag with me. And the aim was to go over to Benidorm to pick up a couple of kilos. And the whole thing, changing the money up in England and carrying that, so smuggling the cash over through Dover. In fact, I went through Portsmouth on the way out, went into Le Havre, drove down to the Pyrenees, checked into a hotel on a card, and then there was an electronic trail of me being in Andorra for my skiing. Following morning, went and bought a 3-day lift pass, on the card as well. So that's my electronic proof for being in there skiing. Had my fucking old squaddy ski kit in the boot as well, and a nip over through Andorra down through the Pyrenees into Spain. And what I was told en route was, by the way, you're not going Benidorm, now you're going to Fuengirola. So where the fuck's that? It's just a bit further down. Is it fucking another 11-hour drive right down the Costa del Sol? So carried on driving past Benidorm, not seeing you then, down to Fuengirola, and my contact was a fucking Scouser, and he was an ex-Green Jacket.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, believe it or not. So he disclosed that when he saw my DOS bag in the boot, because he was running it. It was his firm. I was meeting up, and he said, right, look, he said, you're fucked, mate. He said, if you go back over customs looking like you do, big fat bald cunt, he said, you're going to get pulled. You tick all the wrong boxes, mate. He said, look, let us take it over for you. He said, we've got a load going over anyway. We'll put yours on with ours, and you'll be sorted. He said, but just be part of our firm. His other guy was an ex-para. I thought, this is fucking amazing. So it's free ex-squaddies now, just like a mercenary thing. Bouncing up and down Europe, working with the Colombians. It's fucking mint. Not condoning it, but it was a hell of an experience.
I mean, you're saying this now. So we're denouncing the bottom third podcast. Me, Ricky, and Alex are going to be in Benidorm for no reason as of next year. That's fucking mint. I love that.
So we just sort of like, and that was like the overseas stuff is the second book, Overseas Operations. So the Charlie 4 Kilo is the start of it. Of Ops is the next bit. And then I kind of eventually got the debt paid off. It's the end of 2007, early 2008, I started to see a clear profit. But by then, what I'd done, I'd applied so much energy to paying the debt off. Finally, I was seeing some money, and all of a sudden it was like, fucking hell, I got some money, and not just a little bit, I got fucking loads of it. It's like, hey. So it was like, right, what do I do? I said, I got to get out of this game. I need to get the fuck out. So I've always loved my driving, always loved my motorsport. I thought, right, I was self motorsport company. So I created Launch Motorsport. It just is a bit of it was a bit whimsical, because I didn't take it too seriously. But as I got into it, I began to take it seriously. I thought, do you know what? This actually is the one thing since leaving the army and getting involved in all that shit. This is the other thing. The only other thing I've found which ticks all those boxes again. It's got structure. It's got risk. I enjoy it. There's good people around me, and it's forecast. It's like looking on the year planner on orders. You can see the whole fucking year. You know what the motorsport season is, April to October. You know what you're doing. That's what I needed, that structure. So the motorsport for me was what did it, and I just threw myself into that. And I was then at that point, I had a big firm work. I was employing 7, not the motorsport, the drugstore. I had 7 people working for me. It was big. I was then distributing anywhere between 5 and 10 kilos of cocaine a week, which translates to about 200, 300 grand's worth of not profit, but revenue or turnover each week.
How much of that money have you still got?
None, mate. It all gets taken by persons who drive it. Yeah, lose a lot, mate.
I was going to say,
how much of that what do you say, 200 to 300,000 a week?
Yeah,
turnover. How much of that would profit?
So if you work out on average, you could make potentially 30 grand on a kilo of coke. So potentially you could be earning about 100 grand a week profit. I never did, because once you pay wages, done some deals, taken a few losses. I think my best week was 70 grand. That was my best ever week. And I said, I've earned 70 grand this week. That's fucking nuts. But you totally lose the appreciation of value for money. It's just like, because the week before I earned 30. And I thought that's a bad week, 30 grand. I thought, fuck me, I want to be at least 40. And that's what my head was.
People to get into drug dealing.
No, because you get caught and go to prison and you lose everything.
We're here trying to fucking scrounge up 35 grand to get our own fucking podcast studio. Struggling through TikTok.
That was a bad week. That was a bad week for Rich.
A bad week was losing 80 grand.
Do you know what?
Yeah, true.
I'm going to have to interject here And this is going to have to be a part 2 as well, because we're at an hour and 5 and we've still not got onto the fucking cracker story. We've still not gone onto... You went to prison, didn't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, this is the thing.
It's not even... Yeah.
So I think for the last 15 minutes, we'll just ask a couple of generic questions. What do you reckon?
Yeah, cool.
And then you happy to go on for a set of part 2, Rich?
Yeah, this is what I mean.
Of course, yeah, I'm good with that. Yeah, 100%.
Good, man.
We've got part 2s everywhere now.
We've easily got another hour and a half out here yet. So
yeah, easily, maybe 2.
Captivated as well.
Yeah.
I know none of us 3 have actually said an awful lot because we just. I mean, for me, but I just fucking sat here with my mouth fucking wide open. Like,
I'm just looking at these 5
fucking shit is going.
I'm looking at 5 eyes staring at me. Thinking, what's going on?
5 eyes.
Well, I've got 4.
Oh god, that was a good one. That
was brilliant. I would expect that straight out the hurt locker. That. Well,
that's the teaser clip right there.
So you only did cannabis in the army.
Yes.
See, all the questions are going to lead on to like another fucking amazing story, I imagine. So I'm trying to think. Right, with the charities thing. So do you know we was going on about like, so there's different charities, isn't there? You've got fucking British Legion, Poppy Appeal, all that. I don't understand why it's not been made law in the UK that there's only one charity for military and just combine all the funds. Do you know what I mean?
Well, I want to increase that. Why don't we this is what I said to fucking Starmer when I fucking met him, is why do we not have like a veterans association that's funded by the government that just fucking does what the charity work does? We should, like, veterans shouldn't, I'm going on a rant, veterans shouldn't be fucking relying on fucking charities.
Yeah.
We should not be fucking relying on charities.
No, we should be looked after when we come out. If on a sliding scale, we should be like, right, how long you done? If you suffered any sort of trauma, whether it be physical or psychological, what can we do to set you up? What do you need from us? Is what we can offer you.
Fucking 3 kilos of cocaine.
Just give me a couple of keys, I'll be fine.
Another reason why I don't think the veteran community should be relying and leaning on charities, because charities are just a fucking money spinner.
Yeah.
They're just a fucking money spinner.
Yeah.
Look at the fucking bigwigs of RBL, Help for Heroes, Not Forgotten Association, Blesma, I don't know much, but yeah, look at all the big military fucking veteran, the big veteran fucking charities or military charities. All the bigwigs are on fucking hundreds of £1,000s a year.
Yeah.
You tell me that, how's that fucking charity?
And what I'm finding now is literally the little charities who make barely anything are the ones that help people. So if I needed help, it'd be a little charity that turns over freaking 30 grand a year that'll reach out and help me. But the charities that make hundreds of thousands, like the British Legion, millions even, you struggle to get help off them. And I'm thinking, hang on, the little charities that help people, the big charities, but they'll pay the CEO 150 grand a year. And yet not help me with so much money so I can get established or get a deposit on a place because I've been homeless or something. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, pound for pound, the smaller charities do more with the money. It's as simple as that, isn't it? They might have funding of, let's say, 50 grand for the year, but you can guarantee they're going to help so many people with that 50 grand because they're running a smaller organisation of volunteers. The big uns, they just like seeing the money in the bank. I mean, RBL have got, I believe, they're one of the most wealthiest charities in the world.
Do you know their turnover is? Their turnover, it's like 9 billion.
Yeah, it's billions, mate. Billions.
Yeah, it's like their annual turnover is like £9 billion.
Oh, the thing is,
I mean, I don't like quote me on that exact number, but it is fucking astronomical.
I don't want to be sat here promoting boycotting like military charities because they do, as much as we don't like how little they do it, they do help. So it would be counterproductive to do that. However, receipts are in order. It should be publicised on the website and anyone can scrutinise it. Because all it takes, there'll be nerds out there. They've got nothing better to do that will scrutinise the receipts. And it's like a vigilante justice system in a way. For civilians to just be able to fucking double check that everyone's fucking playing the game.
Almost like fucking same policy should be fucking applied to politicians.
You can see the turnover. You can see the turnover of the charity, the turnover, the outgoings on salaries, etc., and then what they've used the money for. So say this charity makes £1 million a year. if 300 grand goes on wages, then what have they done with the rest of that money? And then we should be able to see and go, actually, they've spent so many hundreds of thousands helping people. And if they look and go, actually, they've paid their own wages, they've paid the bills, and they've only put 100 grand into actually helping soldiers or veterans.
Yeah.
That's where you know.
The theory of it, in my opinion, is if it's, I don't know what the actual definition of charity is, but I'm pretty sure it means like volunteer work to a degree, like volunteer. So pretty much it should mean not being expected a reward for helping someone like that's pretty much it. So if CEOs are in charge of charities to a degree, it should be for little amounts of money or for nothing at all. It should be out of the goodness of the heart. It should be like, it should be, trying to think of what the fucking phrase is, but like the bigger picture sort of thing.
Yeah, I think with the charity work as well, what people got to try and understand is that you need a solid structure to run the charity, which is usually paid staff, but it should be minimum wage, shouldn't be a big wage. And because I work for charities as well, so I understand how it works, but I can see both. I'm not condoning the amount of money some charities spend. But I think sometimes volunteers are brilliant because they give up their time for so much, but you can never rely on a volunteer.
No, you can't.
And if you've got a core structure of staff within a charity to keep the lights on, and you have a volunteer network around that doing the groundwork, like maybe like SAFA do with the caseworkers and such like, then you've got a good organisation. But this thing about paying CEOs 150 grand a year, that's bullshit. They shouldn't need that. A CEO should be someone that has a job or a solid income already, and is appointed as a CEO. That's their appointment.
Almost like a reservist sort of status.
Yeah,
but
I understand they've got to be paid something, but not. You don't want to work for charity. But I'm going to work for charity for 150 grand a year. That to me is not charity.
No, that's 15 people who've not been helped, isn't it?
While I'm on the process of fucking ranting,
I've got to rant
about fucking charities, right? What pisses me off most as well about the military charities is they're all staffed by fucking civvies.
Yes.
Have never fucking served.
It should be a veteran. It should be veterans 100%.
So I can elaborate on that. So we'll call it Charity X, and it only employs veterans. With that, you have got people coming out of the military fresh with their own experiences, and maybe that's all they know. So when they come out and they're employed by this charity, they've got the ideas of what they believe would help them because they're within the system while getting paid for it. And then say they want to become a underwater fucking knife fighting welder. They're within they're within the charity. They can go, right, well, we've got the funding for that. So really glad you've put your input in. Let's fucking put you on the outside. Next veteran comes into the charity, and it's a self-help system. I don't understand why that's not a thing.
It's like our podcast. Our podcast is a military type veteran podcast, but a lot of veterans listen to it because they like hearing our rants and our having people on and stories. Because even though we're no longer in the forces, it was a big part of our life, and it helps us to still have that community and that like family and brotherhood. And so that's why we have veterans listen to our podcast. It's because they like our community and they like having that bit of connection with the forces still. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's needed, mate. It's needed, isn't it? I mean, if I'd have had stuff like this when I come out of the forces back in '95, I would have been less likely to get involved in what I was doing because I'd have had a connection to go to. All we had then was something, I think it's Forces Reunited was the only platform there was to link in with the people that you served. You just detach yourself from the reality, don't you? You just end up going off on a tangent and you're gone. So, yeah.
It's the perfect segue to WeServe.
I don't. Well, to be fair, they sent me something on TikTok. I didn't really fucking watch it.
I need to check that.
Yeah.
Was it something about fucking cricket match or some shit?
Oh, was it? Oh, fuck cricket. Sorry.
Can I say one thing I want to say as well? While we're on the subject about stuff, Rich also has 2 books. No, Rich has 2 books. And so, obviously, what we'll do is we'll link it on the YouTube of the name of his 2 books, and he also offers some kind of therapy. I've had it myself, and it's amazing. I'll let him speak about it, but we'll put a link to your website as well. So if there's some veterans are interested in trying this therapy that Rich does, there is a small cost because obviously he has to pay for his hotel. He can't just afford to run around the country. It's not a charity.
I've got to pay for my prostitutes.
Talk about it.
I'm telling people. But yeah, go on.
Yeah, I've got to pay for my prostitutes and cocaine on the night, so it is a charge. Come on. So it's called ultra bilateral stimulation, and Are we doing like part 2 now, or are we going to do it later stage? Because I can just roll off on this one.
I mean, in fairness, I don't know how long my PC is going to last because at the minute I am in. Have you ever been in an ISO container in Kenya?
Yes.
No, but I bet it's
I
not.
feel like,
Well, should I save it till next time round?
No,
My phone's about to die as well, so we need to redo
yeah, we'll
it.
mention this so we can attach it to this.
yeah, because it's part of the charity sort of like helping veterans thing, so it'll work.
Yeah, so I trained because of my own battle with mental health and risk of suicide and everything else. I was given EMDR back in 2020 by a retired major called Cormac Doyle, and he's an absolute fucking legend with what he does. He's delivered over 30,000 hours of EMDR. So he created something called ultra bilateral stimulation, which is a version of it where we don't throw the rules out the window. We just say we've got more of a let's stop fucking about approach, which is what a lot of veterans need. We don't want to sit there and talk shit. Sometimes we need to. There's a time for talking. There's a time for making you better. And BLS uses bilateral stimulation for your eyes and your hands through vibration. And basically just think about your trauma and we process it. And I'll go into that in a lot more depth on the next part, but the results are fucking stunning. It's absolutely amazing.
Yeah. Awesome stuff. Has anyone got anything else to add? Like the amount of fucking notes I've made. Unbelievable.
You've been taking notes?
I've got 1988 just wrote there, so I'm assuming that's when you joined.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Right, that's the main takeaway. It's a fucking terrible. Fires muskets on a weekend. I think, yeah, it's been a good one, to be fair.
I did say this podcast we wouldn't need to speak. I did say Richard a fascinating bloke and that we just need to basically stick a fucking key in him, turn it, and he just fucking goes.
Off he goes. Let's go wind up again.
A runaway fucking gun here. Someone snap the link.
So I suppose with this sort of format, fucking audience, let us know if you like it. We might do similar things like it. Try and amalgamate it into what we already do. Let the guest fucking spin his fucking yarn.
Yeah, remember, don't do drugs.
Yeah, don't do drugs. Don't do drugs.
No.
It's fun, little fun fact to end on, right? So when I was fucking going through teenage, obviously not everyone's going to know this, but I grew up on a council estate. Right? Loads of fucking drugs.
I know, yeah.
I know. Loads of fucking drugs and shit kicking around. And as a teenager, I'd already made the decision quite early on that I was going in the army. So one fucking random conversation I had with my mum, she was like, well, if you want to go in the army, don't want to be doing drugs. Drugs are bad. At the same time, South Park put that episode out. Drugs are bad, or whatever. So, yeah, don't do drugs. Drugs are bad. So that was like my fucking catchphrase all through my fucking teenage years.
Do you know what?
When that guy, he goes, "Don't do drugs are bad, okay?" That's the
drugs are bad, okay. Well, Mr. Mackey.
When that came out, that was 1998, I believe, wasn't it? Around about 98.
Yeah.
So South Park was just coming out. We remember WhatsApp. We were well involved in drugs, and we actually had a little. We were all buying the cuddly toys, of Cartman, Stan, all that lot, and we had a little framed picture with Mr. Garrison, and it said "Spank my ass and call me Charlie." That was our cocaine mirror. Just to put it down and put cocaine on Mr. Garrison and sniff it off there. Don't do drugs, bad for you.
Yeah, don't do drugs.
You've already said that because of the fact that you got caught and the amount of anxiety and losing 80 grand. I think it all goes in hand. It sounded glamorous, and then it doesn't sound so glamorous when you get onto your story.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I used to have therapy
big risk, big gains, big risks.
Anxiety just listening to your story, so I couldn't even imagine it in real life.
I know.
Oh, it's horrible, mate. It's horrible. It's really horrible. Yeah.
It's been a pleasure, Rich. Thanks for coming on, and we'll see you.
You're welcome, guys. Thank you.